Some excitement from fans of our Game of the Week. Welcome back to 4th and Goal. It is time for that GOTW, a divisional battle between Owego Free Academy and Susquehanna Valley.
A must-win playoff game for both these teams. Playoff position, an SB win would put both teams at 3-2 in the division, so postseason implications again heavily in this one.
The Game of the Week brought to you this week by UHS, Tri-Town Insurance, Nip Saloon, Buffalo Head Bar Grill, TD's, Farmer Brown, and Matthews Auto. And in the first quarter of this one, on the opening drive, Marquise Jackson breaking free for 54 yards. The touchdown gives the Sabres the 7-0 lead. And then still in the first quarter, Brandon Morris picked off by Dave Matthews. He takes it all the way back, brought down with great position for Susquehanna Valley, and Marquise Jackson a 5-yard touchdown run. Just like that, it's a 13-0 lead for the home squad. But then Owego Free Academy finally getting on the board. Pat Nagel scores to make it 13-7. Then Jackson with a 10-yard run. No, you're not seeing double. He had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, but dislocated his elbow. He would leave this one 19-7 and 1.
Let's pick things up in the second quarter. The Indians looking to gain some ground before halftime, and Dave Matthews, QBing again, looking to strike, but it's intercepted by Sean Hilliker. So the Indians take over possession, threatening on the goal line, and Matthews comes up with another pick, but Owego catching a lucky break. It's a holding call, so they get another chance, and Nate Bell using it up the middle, finds Pater. It's 19-14 now. So now these Sabres on their next drive forced to punt. The snap is botched. Nate Bell forces the fumble. Eric Larrabee recovers. And folks, momentum has shifted. And it's Bell taken off for 15 yards. Probably get a couple of more, but he loses his footing. It's good for a first down nonetheless. And Dan Wolf capping off the drive. The go-ahead touchdown. Indians lead by 3 at the half.
To the third quarter we go. A beautiful day on Saturday afternoon, and on the opening drive of the third quarter, Thomas Walker with the 20-yard score. This one would put the Indians up 10. It's 29-19 now. What a turnaround. And then Matthews taking this one all by himself. The QB dives into the end zone.
I believe that's when he wrote "crash into me."
Very good, Jeremy. Very good. And then Morris to Will Gladney, 40 yards for OFA into the red zone. Morris finished this one off with a half-yard keeper, 36-26, going into the final frame.
So the Sabres with one last chance to make a comeback, discussing a little strategy, can't hurt. We're trading touchdowns in the fourth quarter. First, it's Lane Zembeck for Sus Valley, and then Dan Wolf again for OFA, as they call themselves. Back and forth all quarter long. 2 minutes left. SB threatening, down 10. Matthews picked off, and the answer marching the other way. C.J. Bergman, the clutch INT. Indians run out the clock from there. 43-33 your final. Let's take it over to the coach's corner.
I'm here in the coach's corner with Owego head coach Steve Verkler. Coach, thank you so much for joining me here.
Thanks for having me.
A big win today, 43-33. This was a very tough test for your team, down 19-7 in the first half. What did you say to your guys to bring them back into this one?
Just to kind of stick with our game plan. You know, we obviously didn't start it off very well. Got behind early, and you know, we just stayed with our game plan and did what we needed to do, and we were able to climb back into it.
15 unanswered points. You went into the locker room on Saturday afternoon with a 22-19 lead. What was the message then at halftime?
The same thing. You know, just kind of stick with our game plan and do what we had, you know, planned and prepped for all week. And you know, we came out in that first drive in the second half and took it right down and scored. And you know, from there it was kind of a racetrack back and forth where nobody could stop anybody. But we were able to come up with a big play at the end.
And the games are only getting tougher from here, a lot of big divisional matchups. Would you say that Saturday's game was your toughest so far?
I think it certainly was the biggest at this point. Yeah, it was certainly the biggest game because it was kind of a playoff situation for us. You know, if we didn't win, it really put us in a tough spot. And by getting the win, we still control our own destiny. So we came out and did what we needed to do, and happy with our effort.
And next week, Johnson City, a matchup of two teams that are 3-1 in the division. What's it going to take to beat the Wildcats?
Good question. You know, they come, they bring a lot of pressure. They're very athletic at quarterback and at running back, and certainly have guys up front that do a very good job. And defensively, they bring a lot of pressure. So, you know, we just need to prep and you know, work on that during the week, and hopefully we'll come ready to go on Saturday.
That's Indians head coach Steve Verkler, and we'll be sure to have that game here on 4th and Goal next week. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now let's toss it over to Jeremy.
Thanks, Eva. I'm here with Nate Bell and Brandon Morris, two of the standouts on offense for the Owego Free Academy Indians. A big win for you guys in Week 5 against Susquehanna Valley, moving to 4-1 overall, 3-1 in the division. Nate, we'll start with you. Just tell me how big of a key win this is for you guys in this season.
I think we really needed it. Our team was actually getting kind of down. We had a good week of practice, and I think it turned out to having the win.
I thought we had a really good week of practice. Coming into it, I was pretty excited. I know the team was pretty excited, and I think we went out there, we got down quick, but we fired back. So,
as you said, an early deficit to try and come back from. SV scored twice quick. You guys were down 19-7, and things kind of turned over from there. Talk about the mentality of this team to be able to come from behind in those tight games.
I was just telling everyone to keep it together. I knew that those were quick points, and as long as we rallied together, we'd get everything together, and as long as our heads are on the same track, we can beat anybody.
I just told everybody there's a lot of football to play. Still the first half. A lot of stuff's going to happen, and it did. So.
Football is a game of momentum shift, and obviously one of the big key momentum shifts in the first quarter was an injury. That kind of took Susquehanna Valley out of the game, at least in the first quarter. And then later in the game, you guys forced a fumble on a 4th down punt attempt by SV and ended up scoring on that touchdown drive. So talk about those two plays and how that kind of shifted things in your favor.
I think he was a really good player. He was obviously running the ball really well. He had a lot of yards in the short amount of time he was in the game, but we knew that we took down one of their better running backs, and we had to keep our head focused.
Yeah, it was definitely a big injury for them, and hopefully he recovers. But, yeah, momentum's everything in football, as most people know, so that helped us out a lot.
Obviously giving up 33 points, I heard Coach mention, not the greatest outcome that you guys were hoping to see, but the offense able to best that, putting up 43 points. Just talk about how you guys were able to get that offense moving on a day where your defense, you know, maybe kind of struggled a little more than you were hoping for.
Well, we knew we needed to get the ball down the field. They were running all over us on D, so we needed to make our blocks, get to the holes, and just keep pumping your legs because every single yard counts.
First thing I say when I go to the huddle is, all right, let's go, guys. Just take it down, get the ball in the end zone. That's what we're out there to do. So.
And it worked enough this week in a 43-33 win against the Susquehanna Valley Sabres. A tough test for you guys next week against Johnson City. Best of luck, Brandon Morris and Nate Bell of the Owego Free Academy Indians. We'll be right back with your No Huddle Offense.